I was doing an Excel webinar and somebody said, how do you learn all those Excel keyboard shortcuts? I sat down with the big book of Excel shortcuts and I studied them and memorized all of them, hoping that one day some of these would come in handy. No. The truth about how I learned the shortcuts, because I'm a shortcut fanatic. If anybody knows me, you know what I'm talking about. Say something right now. Type in something right now if you know what I'm talking about. I am such a keyboard shortcut fanatic. When I work alone, when I work with others, I'm fairly patient. But when I work alone, I let myself be impatient because it serves me. Why do in 2 hours what I could get done in 30 seconds? I like that. I like moving fast, and I like automating anything that can be automated, shrinking the time commitment for anything that doesn't require my creativity, my connection with another human being, my invention, anything that's just more mechanical. I want to minimize that. So I let myself be impatient. I don't like to do anything twice. And as such, if I think that there's a faster way to do something, I'm going to stop, figure out what that shortcut is, if it's a keyboard shortcut, if it's a technique, if it's a subroutine in VBA programming, if it's a macro. I'm going to stop and invest the minutes in figuring it out, because the return on investment in those minutes, there's no X large enough for me to be even able to quantify this for you. So yeah, I know tons of keyboard shortcuts, and it's not just Control C and Control V and Control X and Control Z that's undo. I mean, it's in Excel, it's in QuickBooks, it's in other programs as well. You know, even the function keys, the F keys across the keyboard, sometimes it's not in a program, but Windows itself, for example, like Windows D shows the desktop, I minimize everything. Alt F4 closes the program. In Excel, Alt F11 shows the Visual Basic Editor. F12 is save as in a ton of different programs. F1 in almost every program is a help key. So these shortcuts are worth it, and it's worth it to take the time to learn it. As you're working and you realize there has to be a faster way to get this done. Like, really? There has to be. Why should I have to do click to center something if I'm putting a title in Microsoft Word? You know what? Control L is left justify. Control R is right justify. Control E is center. And you know it's Control E for center. Like, why not Control C? Because Control C is already taken for copy. So it's worth it to let yourself be impatient. And one other handy tip for learning keyboard shortcuts is when you find yourself clicking on one series of clicks frequently, like click on the data tab, or click on the insert tab, click on the pivot table button and click OK and go through the wizard, where instead you could go Alt DPP enter. When you find yourself clicking on the same sequence repeatedly during the natural course of your work, if you're in Microsoft Office, you can stop, and in some cases you can hover your mouse over a button and the keyboard shortcut for that button will come up. In other cases, you can press and hold down the Alt key and all these letters will come up. And if you tap a letter, whatever thing was close to that letter will activate. Now you might say, Jamie, that's ridiculous. We're looking to save time, not press and hold and go, well, what letters are here? That would be a bad plan for getting faster. The point is, you press and hold Alt, you tap the first letter. That activates. Then you look and see what's the next thing that I need to click in order to do my quick 1, 2, 3 sequence. Okay, it's this letter and it's this letter. And you learn what are the 3 letters in that sequence. From that point on, that's your go-to. Alt-IND brings up one thing. Alt-DPP brings up another. Alt-DFF brings up another. Alt-OD brings up something else. These are things that I use frequently, so I've taken the time to learn them. Alt-DL brings up something else. So it's worth it to take the time to learn keyboard shortcuts, and that Alt combination That's a technique that is valid not only in Microsoft Excel and other Microsoft programs, but non-Microsoft programs as well. And you can tell because when you press and hold the Alt key, a number of words have one letter underlined. So for example, in QuickBooks, RFB shows the standard balance sheet. RKP shows the previous reconciliation. It's not just the control keys that can help you get around whiz bang fast. So I hope that was helpful to you. And frankly, if you want to sit and memorize the big book of Excel shortcuts, feel free. I won't be joining you for that, but have fun with that. And by all means, share really cool and interesting things that you've learned.